video is strictly for educational purposes only. I do not condone or glorify the usage of drugs. Yo, what is good? Today, we're going to be diving into the world of galaxy gas. What is galaxy gas? Does it kill brain cells? Why is it legal? This video will cover all of that, and I'll be trying out some myself on camera for the first time to give an honest review and see if it's really worth all the hype. Let's get into it. To understand what galaxy gas is, we must first understand what nitrous oxide is. Nitrous oxide, aka Whippets, aka laughing gas, is a dissociative substance that produces short-lived euphoria and hallucinogenic effects when inhaled. Nitrous oxide is generally considered to be pretty safe, which is why health professionals like doctors and dentists utilize it as a weak anesthetic. Laughing gas is an effective anesthetic for a few different reasons. Compared to other anesthetics, laughing gas has minimal side effects. It reduces pain and anxiety in a manageable fashion. The depth of sedation can easily be adjusted by the doctor, and the effects dissipate quickly once it's turned off. Overall, it is a safe, efficient, and flexible option for light sedation in medical situations. While it is very safe in medical settings, things get dicey when used recreationally. Recently, you may have seen colorful nitrous tanks popping up all over social media as a TikTok trend.
God damn, what the f?
From rappers to celebrities to random teenagers, all sorts of people are going viral for experimenting with nitrous oxide. This is the rise of galaxy gas. Galaxy gas is a brand that sells nitrous oxide for culinary purposes. It's marketed as a way to create flavored whipped cream and drinks. Basically, it's a more convenient way to do Whippets, which is essentially getting high off nitrous oxide.
𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗺, I'm on a nitrous.
Before this trend, nitrous oxide was typically consumed recreationally through a whipped cream dispenser like this. People would take little whipped cream chargers that come in small canisters and screw them into the dispenser. These little canisters are what contain nitrous oxide. Once the nitrous is diffused inside the dispenser, it is now locked, loaded, and ready to be used. Inhaling nitrous through this method enables people to catch a quick buzz from it.
I'm so high!
The problem with this method is that it can be a bit inconvenient to go through this whole process of loading the dispenser just to get 1 to 3 hits for a 90-second buzz. And that's where galaxy gas comes in. Galaxy gas, as well as other brands, have been starting to sell nitrous oxide in small tanks that don't require the need for constantly reloading. Instead, the nitrous is contained within the tank itself rather than these small canisters that you have to continuously load into a dispenser. Additionally, the tank has a nozzle at the top so people can inhale the laughing gas directly from the tank with no other steps. With that being said, nitrous oxide has been around for decades. There is nothing new here about the substance itself. It's really just a method of administration that has recently popped off in the media. Funny enough, the most popular video on my channel is me doing Whippets like 4 or 5 years ago. Whippets have always been around, but the delivery method has never really been perfected until now. Prior to the rise of galaxy gas, the only other way to get nitrous in the form of a tank was to have access to those big medical tanks that doctors use during procedures. It was either that or have a connect to a plug that runs the nitrous mafia. The nitrous mafia is a group of individuals who get their hands on the large nitrous tanks. If you go to concerts, you've probably seen the nitrous mafia before because they'll fill up balloons with it to sell to people walking outside the venues. Nevertheless, companies are now selling nitrous in smaller handheld tanks, which are now widely available across the United States. Although galaxy gas is the most popular, there are hundreds of different brands doing the same exact thing, and that is offering tiny handheld nitrous tanks that are convenient and easy to use.
I'm going for total efficiency and ability.
These small little tanks are essentially the most efficient way to consume nitrous oxide. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised that it took this long for the tanks to pop off. Like I said, Whippets have been around for decades, so it's somewhat surprising that it took this long for someone to come up with the idea of selling small tanks rather than canisters. The reason why it's legal to purchase over the counter in the first place is because technically the intent of the product is to make whipped cream. Something to note is that in order to purchase nitrous oxide, you typically need to be at least 18 years of age, albeit in some states the age is raised to 21. Obviously, these age restrictions are intended to protect children, although ironically it seems like underage use is what's getting the most attention on the internet.
Yeah, these are all underage kids.
When you consume nitrous oxide, you'll experience a tingling sensation throughout your whole body. Your extremities will have tingles and vibrations irradiating through them.
I feel tingly all over.
I compare the feeling to be eerily similar to the Wim Hof breathing technique, which is a natural meditation practice anyone can do. So if you want to know what Whippets feel like without actually trying them, I highly encourage you to look up the Wim Hof breathing method, because you'll be amazed by the feeling your body can naturally produce just through meditation. Oddly enough, I actually use Whippets as a form of meditation too. This is due to how the mental headspace is trippy and dissociative. All anxiety will be sucked away, and at high doses, it makes you completely space out, sometimes to another dimension. Nitrous provides me a sense of calmness and serenity, aligning my perception of reality in a way that allows me to sense the overall balance of the universe. It's difficult to articulate, but nitrous helps my mind grasp the truths of yin and yang. I also love consuming nitrous while in psychedelics because they truly have a symbiotic relationship and pair nicely with each other. But even on its own, nitrous can still lead to psychedelic-like states.
You are seriously tripping balls.
Anyway, it's important to take safety measures when indulging in this substance. Generally speaking, nitrous oxide is considered to be very safe. But what isn't safe is when people hold their breath after inhaling it, because obviously starving your brain of oxygen is going to kill brain cells. And that applies to any inhaled substance. You should not hold your breath when using cannabis, tobacco, nitrous, whatever. Over 90% of the drug is absorbed by your lungs instantaneously. If you feel a stronger effect from holding it in, it's likely because your brain is reacting to oxygen deprivation, not extra absorption of the substance. So in order to correctly and safely consume nitrous oxide, you must make sure that you properly intake oxygen between and with your hits.
Breathe in, breathe out.
If you don't do that and are just taking hit after hit after hit, you could suffer from hypoxia, which is a condition when the brain is deprived of oxygen for extended periods of time, which is indeed neurotoxic. This causes neuronal cell death, which is the literal act of brain cells dying. Moral of the story, oxygen is important, so be responsible and don't suffocate your brain because you need to breathe air to live. Furthermore, at high doses, nitrous can cause users to pass out or lose motor control. So definitely make sure that you are stationary and either sitting or laying down.
Sit your ass down.
One time I had a friend who was hitting a balloon standing up, and you could tell he was kind of zoning out until he inevitably face planted on the concrete. His forehead was gushing blood, and we had to sit him up until he came back to reality. So like I said, don't be standing up when doing a bunch of nitrous. Now that I've given you an overview of nitrous oxide, it is time to break out the 𝗙ecie gas myself. Unfortunately, the name brand 𝗙cie gas was completely out of stock both locally and online. None of the smoke shops by me carry it, and when I went on the official 𝗙cie gas website, a staff member told me that they don't even sell the tanks anymore. I don't know if the media pressure them into not selling the tanks anymore, but nonetheless, I got a different brand, which is the same exact thing as 𝗙cie gas, just a different name. This nitrous tank isn't as colorful as 𝗙cie gas, but I got the lemonade flavor, which should be interesting. Personally, I've done nitrous many times through numerous different methods, but this is the first time I bought a tank like this. This tank's got some weight on it, a bit heavier than it looks. I have not opened it all yet. It seems like there's a little black thing on here that is protecting where the nozzle will go, so we're gonna take this off real quick. All right, so I got that off, and that's where the nozzle will screw on. It did come with a nozzle, so I'm gonna just screw that on real quick. Okay, so it looks like it just immediately comes out. That just sprayed my hand. It was a little cold. So it looks like you just screw on. Yeah, so it seems like it just comes out. You just gotta screw it. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a hit. Let's see if it really tastes like lemonade.
I'm guessing my voice is going to be a little distorted. That's usually what nitrous does.
I definitely got a little head rush going on. I mean, it feels just like how nitrous has always felt. It's just that it's in a tank now instead. Supposedly, it's supposed to be lemonade. Let's see.
It just tastes like air to me. I mean, maybe the scent. I kind of smell lemonade when I breathe it out a bit, but just tastes like air to me, cold air. I do like this, the form factor. It's very convenient, way more convenient than this thing.
Yeah, I don't really taste the lemonade too much, but I mean, nonetheless, it's nitrous. I mean, I could definitely see myself just sitting on the couch blasting music doing this for like an hour straight. I do like this though. It's very convenient, very smooth. Supposedly I'm pretty hard to put out with anesthesia. With a few surgeries I've had, the doctors have to load me up with extra anesthesia more than a normal patient because I guess I just eat it all. Regarding the form factor, I give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, this is so convenient to use. All you gotta do is unscrew the nozzle and you get the nitrous right away, and you can just do that over and over for however long you choose. I mean, that is way more convenient than having to constantly reload this thing over and over and over. I believe these run a little bit more expensive than the whipped cream chargers, but nonetheless, the form factor alone makes it super convenient to use. I guess since we got both of these, we'll take both in one hit.
Feels like nitrous. That's what nitrous is, that's for sure.
Can we do both at one time? Let's see. I mean, that was a bit challenging, but hey,
did both at once. I guess one of the only technical downsides that come with this is that if you leave it on, you could just leave that on until it runs out, which I'm not going to do because I want to save that and use it, but you could just turn that on and then it would just waste all of it, which wouldn't be possible with something like this, because if you leave it on, the only thing that gets wasted is one of these canisters. I'm about to see how many hits I can take to the face. Obviously, we're going to inhale oxygen in between hits, but let's see how many I can take. Final thoughts, if you love nitrous, this is pretty cool. I mean, the form factor is amazing. It's very convenient to use. You just unscrew the nozzle and boom, you got nitrous right there. Watch this video next to see me do a Whippet through the old method of using whipped cream chargers. I also talk more about the dangers, effects, and combining it with other drugs. My name is 𝗙cie and I stay low key. Peace out.